So potential causes and potential root causes are basically, this is just a name of a terminology. Potential causes are the ones which have not been yet validated, which have not been yet prioritized. Okay, so for example, during the brainstorming session, we try and identify some of the causes which are not yet confirmed whether these are the high, medium, or low. Okay, so those are the potential causes, and potential root causes are the ones which we haven't concluded yet that this could be the final solution or not. So there is nothing major of a difference. The only difference is that these are not yet confirmed. Causes are just the factors which, let's say, I say cause is a shift timing. Okay, but is that a root cause? No. If I want to make a decision out of this cause, will I be able to do it? I haven't done the root cause analysis. I don't know what is the problem with the shift. Is it because the people who are in the morning shift was a problem? Is it because the length of the shift? Is it because the shift has too many interruptions? Is the shift has too many breaks? Is the shift people are not very cooperative? So that is the difference between cause and root cause. So cause are the factors and root causes are the actual thing which is pertaining to the why that you have, the project Y on which you're working on. So that's the difference between potential causes and potential root causes. The second question which you're saying seems to an error in the exam, the sample paper that you're talking about, because either of population has to be there. So I would ensure that these questions shouldn't be a part of your regular exam. So while preparing a sample exam, somebody might not have checked. Ideally, this should be mentioned. So don't worry about it. In order to calculate the sample size, you need to have the population. The third question is, what is the sample size methodology for control charts? So Anand, that was a question. Any sample methodology for control chart?
Yeah.
So it is not always mandatory, because it depends upon how many data points that has been captured. But stratified sampling is always good if ever I want to do a sampling, because it is better than any of the sampling. So either you are doing the hypothesis testing, either you are coming up with the right sample size, either you're using for control charts, you can always go for a stratified sampling, no matter which tool are you using, because it covers the combinations of the quota sampling. It covers the combinations of the random sampling as well. CPK, you are trying and you won't get any result in the options unless and until you're using the right formula for calculating CPK. You shouldn't worry about it, but can someone share the screenshot with me? I will try to correct it. And similarly for the population not mentioned as well. So please share the screenshots with me. I'll try to correct it, but don't worry, your concept remains the same. The formula remains the same.
Perfect.
ZCST and ZLT is it is probably used to calculate the Z value. So this is what we have not covered, because this is something which is not required too many times in the black belt projects. This is basically to cover the short-term and long-term capability. So that day somebody asked me a question on the PPK as well when I was calculating CP and CPK. So that's what it's referring to. So that's what is long-term and short-term. So that's what it says, ZST and ZT. Basically, these are used to measure the capability of the process. So that's what it's all about. So don't worry too much about it. We have already covered too many tools on calculating the process capability, CP, CPK, DPU, DPMO. So those tools are good enough.
So, Simar, can we expect a question asking us to calculate the ZCST and ZLT?
There could be, I don't know. I haven't put that question. I haven't put that question because I knew that there could be some questions which are not relevant to it. But yes, so that's the reason why the passing marks is 60%, not 100%. So just to check your knowledge, just to check your capabilities at how well you can think of. That's why there are multiple choice as well. But yes, by looking at the question, you'll be able to understand what does it say. You won't find any jargons in the question itself.
Simar, one more thing. So in the mock test, when they were asking for, let's say, you have to calculate the range, average, median, and all that. So they had given a number of data points in a single line, which I had to then go copy it into Excel and then put them in individual columns to calculate it. So, in case you are providing such kind of data, can it be shared in an Excel itself? And you can say, okay, go to tab 1 and calculate the mean of these or something.
The purpose is this to ensure that people can calculate it manually. That's the reason why it is put it like that. But
Okay.
yes, if there was a usage of Minitab a lot, so then in that case, it could be put in that way that people can quick easily. So that's the reason to calculate manually so that we can understand the logic. So there could be some question on the standard deviation as well, wherein you have to calculate it. So that's why you'll get enough time to calculate that as well.
So how do we manually calculate variance?
The same formula, variance VAR.
Okay, VAR.
This is the variance.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
So yield, okay. Yield is, so when you calculate DPU, okay. So you have 50 defects and total opportunity is 100. Okay. So what is the DPU here?
0.5.
And what is the yield percentage here?
50%.
Yield. Yield
50%, right?
Yield is the pass percentage. Okay. So we were calculating defects per opportunity or defects per unit. Now we have to calculate what was the yield, what was the passing percentage. Okay. So that's what is the yield percentage. The opposite of DPU is the yield percentage. So DPU calculates how many defects are in an opportunity. Yield calculates how many correct opportunity is there in the process. So that's what is yield.
Yeah, but there it asked for calculate yield, and what was given was LSL, USL, X bar, and standard deviation.
Okay. Please share that question with me as well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Before and after using hypothesis test, there is it is not test of equal variance. It is 2P test, two proportion test. Test of equal variance is to check to see if there is any significant difference between the variance of two or more than two subgroups. So there's a difference between test of equal variance and two proportion test. Two proportion test is to use, let's say I am doing a project on improving TAT percentage. I was at 15%. The target given was 30%. I have reached to 30%. Now I want to establish statistically whether I have made a significant improvement from here till here. So that's what is the 2P test used for. Two proportion test. So you refer to my videos, you would find 2P test done there.
Yeah.
Okay. The path is also, so Excel sheet that I've shared last week, where you find test for all the hypothesis tests we have done. You would find the inferences, you would find the examples, you would also find the prerequisites as well. So from there you can look at it. QFD, we have not covered it. It's called the quality functional deployment. It is basically used, it's a tool used for master black belt to identify the customer touch points. So we have not covered it in the black belt, but it is there in the model test paper you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just ignore it. You won't find it there. Box plot and gauge RNR. Okay. So gauge RNR, you should just share any of the tests that you have done, and then I will help you interpreting the result. So we all can look in the WhatsApp group itself on the gauge RNR. What question do you have on box plot, Rahul?
I just wanted to understand the concept
Okay.
as a whole.
So box plot is basically a graphical tool which help us to identify the quartile that we need to focus on. Okay. Likewise, we did Q1 to Q4 in our basic stats class, wherein we try to cover that which of the quartile needs to be worked on. Okay. So if you allow me for a minute, I can do it on Minitab. And so we have the data. Here is my example sheet, yeah, exercise. So I'm just copying the same data here. Okay. I go to graph. I go to box plot. Okay. So we can do simple and with groups. I will do what's first simple. So I want to see the data that I have HT. How is this being plotted? Okay. Box plot, we see a lot many things. So this center line is first of all the median. Okay. So box plot is to be used only when your measure of central tendency that you've considered is median. So this is a median. Okay. So here, if you look at, it shows you everything. It shows you the number of data points is 450. So 50, so it says the median is 437. So this is the median line. So which means 50% of your data points, 50% of your data points, let's say in this case 450 data points, 225 data points have a median which is HT of 437, and 50% of the people have HT of more than 437. Okay, so that's the box plot. It tells you the Q1 also. Okay, so this is a Q1. Okay, this is a Q2. Q2 is equal to median. This is a Q3 and this is a Q4. Okay, this also tells you the whiskers in the range. Whiskers are the extreme values. So this basically tells me that which of the 4 quartiles needs to be worked on. So you see that this quartile has a huge amount of variance. So from Q3 it was 597, but you see the Q4 lies at 955. So these 25% of the people are lying between